So I guess it's relatively safe to say that ROBOCOP 2014 is the worst remake I've seen this year and probably have ever seen. And that sucks because I really wanted it to be good, you know, upon seeing the trailers and the clips and the featurette. Like, I kind of knew it was going to be bad, but I wanted to see it anyway. I wanted to see what they did with it. So, I kind of knew it was going to be horrible. I got free tickets at Christmas, and I was going to use them for Grudge Match, but I decided to save them for RoboCop. You know, so I wouldn't feel bad when I saw unfold on screen pretty much what I already knew, you know, either way. Either way, we gave it a shot. So, as part of our Valentine week, we did like a romantic comedy drama, like a great little movie called Enough Said, with James Gandolfini and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And we did like breakfast at the mall and like, you know, fabulous little gift exchange, and, you know, just a bunch of other stuff. And, you know, thank you, honey, for making my Valentine's Day the best ever. Yeah, I'll take you to the Lego movie, because this movie sucked. So, so bad, in fact, that my girlfriend didn't even watch the movie. she played on her phone the whole time, and that says something, people, you know, that this movie is pretty bad. So, I guess the big sign should have been when we were checking out the show times on the computer. You know, I really wanted to cry when I saw that here in our part of the world, that RoboCop 2014 is rated G, you know, general admission. So it just felt like blasphemy, and maybe, you know, a mockery to its source material. It's hard to say like, you know, like I told myself I wasn't gonna just sit here and bash this movie. Like, I wasn't gonna bash it. More than anything, I just kind of felt sorry for this movie. You know, it just feels like someone pulled a fast one kind of on all of us, you know. And while I was watching it, it didn't feel real. Like, I didn't feel like I was watching something. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain the exact feeling, but I was gonna go into a whole bunch of depth and do a spoiler full length review, but honestly, like, after watching it, there's not really anything to talk about. You know, it's not even worth spoiling, really, but I probably will. I don't know. You know, stick around and find out. I probably will spoil something, or a lot, because I like to do that sometimes. Anyway, but, you know, I gave it a fair shot, even though I know I'm guilty of comparing it to the original. I didn't know. I just couldn't help it. But anyway, there's not really anything that's the same here except for the backstory. But it's just sad because they could have went to phenomenal places with this. And that's another fault of the film. I just felt it didn't reach for what it should have wanted to be in the first place. So there's not really any action in this movie, maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops out of the whole 118 minutes. You know, it's almost 2 hours. Any action here is really quick and hard to focus on, which, you know, like, clearly they gave us a movie that was really trying to go for character development, and it was really overplayed, you know. So an hour and 45 minutes out of a 2 hour action movie, they could have at least stretched the film out another 15 minutes just to give us a little more action. Like, they could have stretched out the action scenes, you know. There was a lot of wasted potential. It didn't I don't know. It just didn't feel like a real movie. It didn't feel like the people involved were involved for the right reasons. So Detroit doesn't really feel dangerous, and it felt more like, like Toronto to me. And the music wasn't really exciting, and there's a fast-paced remix of the original theme thing at the beginning. More than anything, I felt like it was just a bad representation of the character, like the theme song going in, because it really goes into a scene that sets Murphy up to not really resemble at all the Murphy we all grew up with and know and love. It kind of makes you cringe, and it lets you know that things are different. Like the acting was really cringeworthy and kind of embarrassing to watch, especially like when it came to quotes from the trailer and the clips and stuff. Like, I don't know, I found Joel Kinnaman had no range whatsoever, and his portrayal was kind of, I would say, paper thin. Like, I don't know what he was like. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was going for. But I don't know. Anyway, a lot of the other music really felt like Batman Begins, and all the music felt like it didn't really belong in the movie. Like it didn't belong there at all. A track to note would be like Hocus Pocus by Focus. Like it's a great song, but it just doesn't belong here. Especially since a lot of Robo 2014, like a lot of the crew were openly mocking the original. I don't know, saying it was so outdated. So why use a song to represent, that was even a decade more outdated? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Neither do I think that I Fought the Law 1 was a good choice, or Fly Me to the Moon, or If I Only Had a Heart. I just think they should have went for more score, and they should have went for something closer to the original, yet more original and more new. I don't know. I'm just saying. If you liked it, to each their own. I love horrible movies too. But yeah, it just I just didn't feel like this was a real movie. Like I couldn't savor the action because it went by too fast. There was way too much repetitiveness without the repetitivity of like the long monologues of the explaining everything we just seen, and I don't know. But I guess to me there's no comparison to the original, and there shouldn't be, because it's not fair to compare. But yeah, like the first one, at least the first one tried, and the first one excelled on doing something completely out of the box, completely original, completely something no one's ever seen before, and I don't know, like it was such a powerful movie, the script alone, and then the joining forces with Paul Verhoeven, and like that guy can direct the fuck out of anything, so it's I don't know, there's like no comparison. Like I see what they were kind of going for, but it just kind of looks like they got confused along the way of how to do it. It just doesn't feel like a by the fans, for the fans labor of love like it should, because if you're gonna remake a classic like that as soon as they did, I just think they went the wrong way with it. I think they should have went for the R. If they would have went for the R, fewer people would have gone in. But I think in the long run, especially, on the back end, when they put the movie out, they would have made tons, like tons in the back end. You know, like it would have, you know, it would have been better to martyrize it, you know, and go for a really artsy and true approach. That way, you know, at least they could save face in the end, and we would get the movie that we deserve. And it's not like nobody would see it. Like, don't give me that shit, because either way, you're gonna have kids, you know, buying tickets for one movie and sneaking in to see, you know, the other movie. Point in case, you know, just like Rambo 4 opened up with, what was it? Scary Movie or something? I don't know. I don't remember what it opened up to, but oh, it was Meet the Spartans. Yeah, I think that was it. And all the kids bought tickets for Meet the Spartans, and all the kids, you know, snuck into Rambo 4, you know. So, you know, if you build it, they will come. They will come creeping in there like little mice. You know, they'll get in there. So we should actually do an episode on that in the 4th season when we talk about Rambo 4, Rambo 2008, Rambo self-titled. We should do an episode on the kids sneaking in. But Hollywood, you know, please, if you film it, they will come. And, you know, you'll make your money back somewhere. Advertising, somewhere. Toys, you'll make it back anyway, because I remember, you know, watching RoboCop when I was a kid. A lot of people frowned on that. You know, my friend Mike Cornell actually introduced me to RoboCop. He was like, check this out. You know, this is crazy. And I remember watching it and almost feeling guilty as a kid watching it, you know, like after watching it, being like, man, we shouldn't have watched that. Like, that was way too crazy. But, yeah, so, you know, it's like, at least try to recapture that joy for, you know, the kids of today, because, I don't know, the movies today, whatever. Anyway, and if you want me, you know, if you want to be part of the kids sneak into Rambo video, I don't know, leave me a comment below. But like, getting back to what I was saying, but you know, there's just something more to say about a stop motion Ed 209, because the amount of effort, you can tell there's effort in that, and it's building something, and it's bringing the joy of filmmaking to the process. And a lot of times on screen that shines through. You know, like, look at James Cameron's Aliens or whatever. There's something to be said about the practical element. Not the Pat Novak element, but the practical element of, you know, movie design. That I think we've lost that. It just, this movie looks more like it could have been done a lot faster. I mean, the stop motion used on Ed 209 in the original makes him look really grimacing, looks him look more mechanical, you know. And even if like the you know, with the old effects of painting that over the top of like the background and everything, like you could tell it's not fully focused in there like the Ed 209, but it still looks more menacing and looks way more mean and frightening. And you know, they actually built a real Ed 209 robot. So I don't know, going to like seeing the new Ed 209, like the CGI, it just really didn't do it for me. Like really didn't do it for me. It was kind of like they tried to make it look really real, but in the end it kind of took away its charm and it looked more fake. Like many of the executions of this film, just it comes off lazy, like in the making of, you know. Anyway, but there's more to, you know, say about, you know, a character like Ed 209 back then. You know, the new one looks so modernized that it looks forgettable, like completely forgettable. Like there's except, you know, not even the cool little growl effects in this one come close to giving the original Ed 209 any credit. Like